One particular person stands out. Owned his own business, was a really high-functioning man, tradie, funny guy, had a horrific event in his life, started drinking quite heavily after that as a coping mechanism. And then it just went downhill really rapidly, and he tried to go off the alcohol, ended up suffering seizures ongoing, ended up not even being able to walk, needing someone to feed him, had to wear a helmet at all times, didn't even recognise his own family by the end of it, and it was just horrific. We tried to do as much as he can to rehabilitate them, but the alcohol abuse had just really had such a big impact on his life. And it was really sad. You could tell he had a great sense of humour and was a really decent person, but unfortunately, he had to go to a nursing home. It's the only place that we could find that would give him the level of care that he needed. Seeing some of the things that I see in the hospital is really hard to cope sometimes. We've seen many young people coming through the hospital, a lot of young people with alcohol or drug related issues. Majority of them will be accidents, stupid things that they might have done while they were drunk or after taking drugs. Lots of accidents, lots of fractured hands where they've punched things, dropped things on their feet and needed amputations of toes or little stupid things. Unfortunately, some of those accidents then, if you hit your head during one of those accidents, you then have long-term effects. I think that a lot of them don't think long term about the impact that it's having, and so they'll have an accident, they'll punch a wall this weekend. Surgeons do surgery, they put all these plates in, they get it all fixed up, and then the next month down the track they've punched the other arm and they've got more fractures and the surgeons are having to do more operations. And I think that's because people aren't looking into the future of what that means. Once you've had a fractured hand that's got plates and screws in it, it's never going to fully recover. You'll never get back to how it was beforehand, and people aren't looking long term. Traumatic events in someone's life, whether that be a family member passing away, obviously impacts on the coping mechanism, and some people turn to drug and alcohol. Recently we had obviously Black Saturday with the bushfires, and a lot of people, their coping mechanisms during that time were just so a survival instinct that when the rains came that first day, a week or two after Black Saturday, I think a lot of people just collapsed after that survival instinct. And I know we had an influx of people in our hospital from going on drinking benders, didn't know what else to do. They were just so relieved that the rains had come that they just turned to drug and alcohol and just drank all weekend and ended up in hospital. I'd like to think that people would find new ways to be able to deal with coping. A lot of people, they don't care. That's what they think is their coping mechanism.